old, and
It's not that big a trophy, come on.
And a quarter.
Yes.
I understand now when I tell my story that is not the right way, that there is a better way, because now I have zero income and I decide that this is my way to help my family and to help others, because I am a nurse. I was born a nurse. I want to help people and I want to help my family. And the other way bring me in 67 and a quarter with zero income.
Mm-hmm. That's most people.
So this, 2 weeks ago, I quit the job that I worked so hard. I cannot believe how I worked so hard. I took the money that they gave me and I come here.
Nope. Well, congratulations. Here we go. I thought you were going to start recruiting us. I was just going to say, hey, we're already in, sister. We're all signed up. What else did you learn? How many people made a really quick 2-minute friend? When you see each other in the hallway, it's going to be different. How many people wanted to learn more? How many people instinctively in your DNA you wanted to help the other person? Isn't that something? How would you like your prospects to want to help you? Wouldn't that be interesting? Instead of running away. Now, how many people felt like it was appropriate to bring up an objection? Anyone? Like, I want to object to your story. How many people felt a need to criticize the other person? Anyone? No criticism, no objections, all love. In 2 minutes. How many people went second? Raise your hands, please. And how many of you were more open because the other person went first? Like, oh, all right, you went first. All right, I'll tell you my real story. I was going to tell you the fake story, but now I'll tell you the real story since you told me the real story. Fine. So, one of these 4 elements, and some of you follow my stuff, you know the answer to this question, so I won't do the big trick with you, but if you put up the 4 elements of the story, your background, what you didn't like, that you found a solution, how you feel about the future, one of those 4 is absolutely far and away the most important. And most people, first time they see this, they don't realize which one. And the answer is what you didn't like. Your dissatisfaction is the most important. Your pain is the most important. Because listen to me, nobody cares about how cool you are and how great your future is. And a matter of fact, they might resent it. Oh yeah, you're going to brag about how cool you are? Tell me more about your company. Tell me more about how excited about your future. You're acting all big shot, giving them all the facts. They don't care. They're not even listening. They're waiting for it to be over. What's most important is that you build a connection with another human being over your shared experiences, over your pain, over your hurt, over your challenges. That's what builds rapport. That's what makes people want to help. That's what makes people want to listen. It's the most important thing. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to do it again and find a different person this time. And this time, I want you to emphasize your dissatisfaction. I want you to be more real than maybe you've ever been to another human being, because we're taught never show your weakness, never talk about your pain. Nobody wants to hear about it, right? Be strong, man up, stiff upper lip, all that stuff. What I'm going to ask you to do is be more authentic than maybe you've ever been to another human being, and say, the way that they treat me at that office has made me feel small for the last 10 years. In the last 5 years, that smallness has turned into resentment, and I don't want to live like that anymore because it's spilling into the rest of my life. I'm tired of getting paid 10% of what I'm worth. I'm tired of being unappreciated for the efforts that I put in to help somebody else do what they need to do. I'm tired of the limitations. I'm tired of saying, no, we can't afford it to my kids. I'm done with it. I don't want to feel like this anymore. So whatever that is for you, say it like you've maybe never even said it to your spouse, because you're trying to protect them from your pain. Maybe you've never said it to your friends because you're just trying to be strong. Your kids certainly don't know because you're trying to be tough. For this moment, in this safe environment, I want you to do that, okay? All right, 5 minutes. Find a new partner. Ready, set, go. All right. How many of you had an enjoyable experience? Raise your hands, please. How many people made another 2-minute friend? When you see him in the hallway, it's going to be special. How many of you traded information because you want to stay in touch? How many are going to see him later tonight? Just kidding, I'm just kidding. Vulnerability's sexy, I'm just saying. I've been really trying. Now, here's the thing. This isn't hard. This is friendly. This is light. This is enjoyable. Most of you did this with a perfect stranger. And within a few minutes, you built rapport with another human being. The opportunity to talk to that person. How many people felt like you wanted to learn more? Tell me more, right? It's natural. Any entrepreneur naturally connects the dots in their mind. If you just tell a story, an entrepreneur is going to say, well, maybe this could work for me. I don't know. Maybe. Entrepreneurs connect the dots. Entrepreneurs can't walk into a venue like this without counting seats. An entrepreneur can't look at the concession stand outside and figure out how many people they got and what's going on. I mean, entrepreneurs are a unique breed. They look for opportunity, and they look to see how they can connect with the opportunity. So, doing this is critical and it's important, and you need to do all 4 things. I'm going to do a 2-minute exercise with you, and you don't need to leave your seat. What I want you to do is, I want you to do your story one more time. 2 minutes, 1 minute on each side. That's it. But this time you're forbidden to give your background, and you're forbidden to talk about what you didn't like about it. You can't do that. All you get to talk about is, hey, I found a solution. Here's how I feel about the future. Okay? 1 minute, and then turn around. The other person gets to do it 1 minute back to them. You can stay in your seat to do this with the person next to you. Ready, set, go. 2 minutes. Now, how did that feel? Way different, right? How many people did it feel pushy? Did it feel salesy? Rushed? Awkward? Incomplete? Didn't know where to start? See, here's what I'm talking about. It's the same 3rd and 4th thing that you talked about before, but without building rapport, it feels way different. Your prospects are going to be naturally guarded in the conversation if you don't just tell them your background and what you didn't like, and you build some rapport. Now, if you're going to do this with someone, and let's say you tell them your story, but they won't tell you theirs. They just don't naturally start talking like you guys just did in the exercise. Well, that's normal. My friend Tom Chenault is the absolute genius at this. He interviews everyone he meets. He interviews them. He just says, well, tell me about you. Where do you come from? What's your story? He asks them the 4 questions. What's your background? Were there any parts of your background that wasn't the perfect scenario? What was the good part? What was the bad part? What was the challenging part? If you could change any part, what would you change? He gets all this information, builds rapport with another human being, and then it's very easy for him through his story and through effective follow-up to build a connection and at least get a person to take a look with an open mind. That's the goal. So you need to develop the muscle of storytelling. Guess what most of you are really good at right now? Fact giving. Let me tell you how awesome my company is. Let me tell you how amazing my product is. Let me tell you how incredible the compensation plan is. Have I told you we're expanding into a new country? Have I told you we have this new tool? Let me blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. Take a second, build rapport, build a connection with a real human being, and then they'll learn everything you got. Don't worry about it. So, learning how to tell your story. Now listen, I want you to practice this because your story is really, really, really vital. Story builds a bridge. Story builds trust. Your story gives you the opportunity to say, have you heard the news? Set up the tool. If I introduced you to one of these things, would you watch it? Would you consume it? When can you do it for sure? So if I talk to you after that, you've done it for sure, right? What's the best number and time for me to call? What we talked about yesterday? Tell the story, do the thing. The reason why this needs to say very basic with your prospects is you want a person to think three things when it comes to looking at your business. You want them to think, this looks simple, I think it'll work, and I think I could do it. I think maybe we have a graphic that says that. This looks simple, I think it'll work, and I think I could do it. Okay? This looks simple, I think it'll work, and I think I could do it. That's what you want everybody to say, because then you have duplication. See, the evolution that I went through is I was so embarrassed not having the answers, so I decided, you know what? I'm going to get all the answers. I'm going to become a presenting ninja. And I used all my presenting power and presenting skills to go try to do this myself. Let me tell you about the compensation plan. I was the world expert on the compensation plans. Let me tell you about the product. I was a world expert on the product. I could answer any question. Let me tell you about the company. Let me tell you about the timing. Let me tell you about everything. And because first party is really challenging with your prospects, I wasn't using third party. I was trying to be the expert, and because of that, my results suffered. So, this looks simple. I think it'll work. I think I could do it, is what you're trying to get to. Back to the board, please. Trying to get to when it comes to your prospects. Now, all other prospects, it's a different story. Because guess what you become if you have somebody on your team, they have a prospect, you can be the third party. The team member introduces the prospect to you, and you could be the third party, and now you get to give the facts. So a team member comes to you and says, hey, I want to introduce you to my friend Sally, and Sally is just learning about this. I told Sally my story, and I thought I'd introduce him to you because you know more about it than I do. Then you can go to Sally, tell your story, and help the team member, okay? So there's several layers of becoming a network marketing professional. I heard somebody say this early on in my network marketing career, and it changed everything for me, and that was whoever holds the marker makes the money. And I was like, wow, I want to make the money. He said, well, you gotta, what they're saying is you gotta get up in front of people. If you learn how to do presentations, you're gonna make more money. And I found out that that was actually true. So phase one is your story. Back then, we used to do live opportunity presentations, and at the end of those opportunity presentations at these hotels, they would have 8 or 10 people stand up and give a quick 30 to 60 second testimonial. So I learned how to tell my story with the four